When great receivers of the 2000s and 2010s is brought up, names that typically go along with it are Larry Fitzgerald, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, Rodney White, Randy Moss, Steve Smith, Julio Jones, and a few others, but those are just the main prominent ones. One name that doesn't get brought up enough, however, is someone who ranks 5th in yards and 11th in receiving touchdowns since 2000, 14th in career receiving yards, a Super Bowl champion in 2012, 2003 Offensive Rookie of the Year, second fiddle to Larry Fitzgerald, Torrey Smith, and Michael Crabtree, holds the records for most receiving yards in a debut game at 217, receptions in first 26 games on 157, and was the fastest to both 400 and 500 career receptions at 67 and 80 games respectively. Let me tell y'all about Anquan Boldin. Anquan Boldin was born and raised in Pahokee, Florida, and while at Pahokee High, he would play football, basketball, and run track. He was named Florida's Mr. Football, which is basically the MVP for the state when it comes to high school football, in 1998, and is now on a list that includes Dante Culpepper, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, and Tim Tebow. He played quarterback in high school and led Pahokee to a 10-0 record and a Muck Bowl victory in his senior year, while being named to the USA Today High School First Team, Florida Player of the Year, and the 2007 Florida High School All-Century Team. Boldin would attend FSU and make the transition to wide receiver in order to get more playing time. After a college career that includes the national championship in 1999, 1,790 yards, 118 receptions, and 21 touchdowns, plus a Brian Piccolo award, Anquan Boldin would leave for the 2003 NFL Draft, where he would be the 6th receiver off the board, being selected by the Arizona Cardinals, following the likes of Charles Rogers, Brian Johnson, Taylor Jacobs, Bethel Johnson, and now Hall of Famer Andre Johnson. Boldin's first game was a massive one despite it coming in a losing effort, as he would have 217 yards and 2 touchdowns on 10 receptions. The highlights of this game make the rounds every now and then online, as it is easily one of the best debut games for a receiver in NFL history. The rest of his rookie season is a continued dominance that was shown in that game, as he ended with 1,377 yards and 8 touchdowns, and at the time, a rookie record of 101 receptions, but that record would be broken in 2021 by Jalen Waddle. Boldin won Offensive Rookie of the Year and was selected to his first Pro Bowl that season, despite the fact that Arizona would go 4-12 as a team that season. But this gave Arizona the chance with the 3rd overall pick to select Larry Fitzgerald in the 2004 NFL Draft. A combination of a knee injury in training camp and the arrival of Fitzgerald saw a decline in production in 2004, but he would bounce back in 2005, leading the league and setting a Cardinals franchise record with 100 yards per game, totaling 1,402 yards on 102 receptions, plus 7 receiving touchdowns. This season also marked just the 3rd time in NFL history that a receiver duo each had over 100 receptions and at least 1,400 yards, joining the Herman Moore-Brent Perriman duo and the Ed McCaffrey-Rod Smith duo. After the season, Boldin in Arizona would ink in a 6-year extension worth $23.5 million, locking him in Arizona till 2010. 2006 was another dominant year that resulted in another Pro Bowl appearance with 1,203 yards on 83 receptions. 2007 saw him named a captain and becoming the fastest player to reach 400 receptions in a career. 2008 was a career high with 11 touchdowns, another Pro Bowl appearance with 1,038 yards on 89 receptions. Boldin was a key piece as to why Arizona made the Super Bowl that season, but they would fall just shy of winning it all thanks to Antonio Holmes and Ben Roethlisberger. Boldin in Arizona would run him back in 2009, with Boldin having another solid season, gaining 1,024 yards on 84 receptions. But this time, Arizona would fall shy of making the big game, losing to the New Orleans Saints in the divisional round, and the Saints would go on to win the Super Bowl that season. During the 2010 offseason, Anquan Boldin decided it was time to leave the desert and bring his talents to Baltimore. He was signed a 3-year deal with $25 million, and it would pair him with Derek Mason and Todd Heap. Boldin's 2010 season was a pretty solid year with 837 yards, 7 touchdowns on 64 receptions. Much like in Arizona, however, Boldin's second year in Baltimore would see them adding a receiver in the NFL Draft, this time Torrey Smith in the 2nd round of 2011. Boldin would spend 2 more years in Baltimore, combining for 1,808 yards and 7 touchdowns on 122 receptions, The 2011 season saw a career high in yards per reception with 15.6, and the tenure in Baltimore was capped off with a Super Bowl ring over the San Francisco 49ers, with Boldin being the one to get the scoring started in that Super Bowl with a 13-yard touchdown reception. The path to this ring was also started primarily by Anquan Boldin, as he gained a franchise record in receiving yards in a playoff game with a 145-yard day against the Indianapolis Colts. In the following offseason, Boldin would be traded back to the West Coast as the 49ers agreed to send a 6th-round pick to Baltimore in order to pair Anquan Boldin up with Michael Crabtree. He would have a resurgence in the Bay Area, catching 85 passes for 1,179 yards and 7 touchdowns. His performance that season would lead to a 2-year deal with San Francisco worth $12 million. After another 1,000-plus yard season in 2014, Boldin would play out his contract in 2015 before signing a 1-year deal with Detroit in 2016. 2016 saw career lows in both receptions and yards with 67 and 584 respectively for Boldin, but he was still able to sign a 1-year deal with Buffalo. But before the season in 2017, he would announce his retirement and would get an official ceremony with Baltimore in 2019. On top of his play on the field, Boldin worked hard in the community, creating the Q81 Foundation in 2004 to expand education and life opportunities for underprivileged children. The foundation also hosts annual festivals, turkey drives, and shopping sprees. His off-the-field work gained him the Alan Page Community Award in 2014 and the Walter Payton Man of the Year in 2015. Boldin's name often gets lost within the large number of other legends of the 2000s and 2010s, but the mark he has left on the league is one of an extremely consistent player with a career 12.8 yards per reception and 62% catch percentage. Boldin ended his career with 13,779 yards and 82 touchdowns on 1,076 receptions, plus a Super Bowl ring to boot. The only thing missing from the list is a spot within the halls of Canton and a golden jacket as one of the best receivers to lace up the cleats, a mantle I fully believe he deserves. Thank you all for tuning in. This was a video that's been long in the making, and I hope you all enjoyed. And if you did and like these kind of videos, subscribe. This is pretty much what the entire off season looks like on this channel. So again, leave a like, subscribe, the whole drill. See you all next time. Have yourselves a damn good one. Peace.